Let's cover a few considerations for some of the gamified solutions we're going to be looking at in weeks 2 and 3. Gamification is a form of personalized learning, and so we've kind of blended these two topics together for the 2 units in question. Gamification in education is one thing, and we know that it's proven to increase motivation, retention, incentives. Students just have more fun. There are some ways that you can actually incorporate gamification very simply. And that is, one thing is to gamify your grades. Instead of just having the typical grading system where students earn a certain number of points, which add up to an A, a B, or a C, etc., you can actually set it up that students start with zeros. And we talk about it from the standpoint of you earn points by doing certain things, by accomplishing certain things in the course. And those translate into points, which then progress them to different levels of mastery within the course, just like we do in a game. So every assessment, every assignment, every test feels rewarding. You feel encouraged because you accomplished something. You can also award students with badges. They can be called achievements, they can be called other things, but we're essentially looking at a badge system that shows them a visual representation that they accomplished something. For each assignment completed, they might earn a badge or an achievement that makes sure that they're moving forward, that they're tracking their progress. One of the examples is from West Oklahoma State, where they have a form of gamification in their technology classes, and they have badges that they've named really fun sounding titles to go along with whatever skill that they're mastering. And the example given is if they mastered using Dropbox, drop it like it hot. That's a creative way, and there are other things that can be included in some of the courses along the way if we stop and think about it in a very intentional and strategic way. But there has to be value added to these badges. There have to be points or skill levels that show they are worth something if you're going to use them. Stir up a little competition. Adopting game techniques by including a tournament module. We have apps that can actually do that for us. Kahoot is one of those that's very popular, that is used to quiz students along the way. That tournament function actually eggs them on, and you can create leaderboards and different concepts that help encourage and demonstrate and get excited about understanding. It also helps with those students that maybe are a little more introverted and don't necessarily want to raise their hand or say something in class, but they get excited about participating in a competition. So let's think about gamification for training. How is that different? Just like with instructional design, something that you'll be hearing as you go through pretty much every course in this program of study, goals come first. Begin at the end. What are the specific learning objectives? What are the goals or desired outcomes for your trainer, your employees, or your corporate learners? Which behaviors are you trying to promote? What do they need to know by the end of this training course? But most of all, the employees must see the value in what they are doing. So in order to know what they value, what do we need to know about our audience, and how do we find that out? There's lots of ways to do that. You can do interviews, you can do surveys, polls, but that's a good way to find out what is it they're interested in, what are their preferences, and what are their expectations. What motivates them? Are they going to get excited about a badge, a certificate, other incentives? You must know that in order to create the correct kinds of incentives. And there we have it, choosing the right rewards. If you've done your research and you know your audience, you can choose the kinds of incentives that will work for your learners. And they may be different in one company, one institution, one setting than they would be in another setting. Are they trying to solve a problem? They need to have value in knowing that what they're doing it means something. And you'll need that research data from our last step to choose what works best for your learners. Then you can think about the mechanics of it. How are they going to interact with whatever it is you're going to do in your training? How will you impart that sense of accomplishment and continue to motivate them? And we already talked about some of those, which are the unlockable objects, levels, leaderboards, some of the elements that you can consider when you think about designing a gamification solution. What e-learning tool will you use? Once you have that strategy in place and all of your data on hand, then what authoring tool will you use? Is it something that you already have in your LMS? Is it something you're going to have to create? What kinds of things are going to be needed to make it happen the way that you have envisioned, to deliver it and deploy it and track it in the way that will make sense for the company?